Hey everybody, Rich here. In this video I'm going to show you how to make Mozilla Thunderbird look like Gmail. And the reason for that, this is a requested video. Someone said, well, since Gmail is going to introduce graphic ads into the Gmail interface, which is true, it's going to happen in the next few months or so, where you're going to start seeing ads with pictures in them, similar to Hotmail and Yahoo Mail and so on. Run from location. Okay. They wanted to know, say, okay, well, I hate ads in my email, so is there a way to make Thunderbird look like Gmail? And I said, sorta, kinda, yeah. So I'm going to show that now. I'm actually going to install Thunderbird 3.1.10, which is what you're seeing right here. Thunderbird is available from mozilla.org/Thunderbird. Let's close this. Okay, next. Standard. Next. Install. Oop, excuse me. Install. Launch now. I'm going to use an AOL mail account because I don't have a Gmail account ready here, so, but that's okay because the process is essentially the same. Okay, don't import anything. And there we go. Now you can do the mail account setup here if you're doing it from scratch, but I'm going to assume you have it already installed. So if that would be the case, you would actually go to Tools, Account Settings, and then at the bottom here, Account Actions, Add Mail Account. It's the same thing. So put in this. Now what this should do, Thunderbird, is automatically know what mail servers to put in. You don't have to know them, which is cool. This obviously works for Gmail, and it should work for AOL Mail as well. IMAP AOL. Yep, it did. Okay, cool. And once you have the little greens over here, and it's IMAP, because you want it to be IMAP, that's what you want. And create. And OK. And if I expand this, yep, there's all my folders. And this is the way it will look by default. What did I add? Do I have any email in here? I can't even remember. Yeah, I got a few mails in here. So anyway, the first thing we're going to do, this is the default way that, let me just get rid of that. There we go. This is the default way that Thunderbird looks. So what I'm going to do first is change the sidebar to sort of kind of look like Gmail. The way to do this is you see these little arrows here. We can go to one called favorites. Now I don't have any favorite folders yet. So we go back to all folders. I just right click and I should be able, there it is, favorite folder. Now if I right click again, you'll notice it has a check next to it now. And if I go to favorite, there it is. So if I go back and I do this for all the folders, or just the ones I wanted, like I'll do every folder except saved IM. Now that one is particular to AOL. So I favorited this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, skip this one, and this one. And if I go to favorites, now it's looking, yeah, it does show the email account name after it, but it does sort of kind of look Gmail-ish. And the next thing I'm going to do is change the global font over to an Arial. If you're on another operating system, it would be sans serif, which I'll show in a moment. But I'll do it Arial 10 point, and I have to close out of the client to do that. And I'm going to launch Notepad. This is the only really hard part because it does involve coding, but it's not really that difficult. And I will punch up the size here so you can see what I'm doing. I will go with Lucida Console. Yeah, 16 bold. You should be able to see this. Star or asterisk, space, left brace, font size, colon, space, 10 pt for point, space, exclamation point, important, semicolon, space, font family, space. Actually, I'm going to maximize this. Font family, Arial. Now, if you're under Linux or Mac OS X, it would be sans-serif. but since I'm in the Windows environment, I'm using Arial space exclamation point important semicolon right brace. The star just means everything, meaning every font in excuse me, Thunderbird should be this font size using that font. That's what that means. So file, save as, and I'm going to plop this on the desktop, and the save as type, change to all files, and call it user chrome.css. That needs to be the name of it. So again, that's userchrome.css, user chrome.css, and make sure the save as type is all files and not text documents, and save. And now it is on the desktop. So I'll close this. And the next thing we need to do is drop this into a very specific folder in the Thunderbird profile directory. To get there, start, run, %appdata %. So again, that's %shift 5 appdata app data %. Do that, it launches Explorer into the application data folder, and you'll see one for Thunderbird, which will only be there after you install Thunderbird and not before. So I'll double click this, and then there's a folder called Profiles. We'll go in there. Now Thunderbird by default is going to create this funky looking randomly generated folder name. It's not going to be the same as the one you see here. Yours will be different, but it's going to show something 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 dot default. That's normal. So we go in there, and here's where we need to be. So at this point, I'm going to right click in a blank area and do new folder, and I'm going to call the folder Chrome. Now this has absolutely nothing to do with the Google Chrome browser. That's just the way Thunderbird does things. Again, nothing to do with Chromium or Google Chrome. So we create the folder and double click to go in it. There's obviously nothing there since I just created it. And then I'm going to take my CSS file and drag it in. Now it's copied. Now if all goes well, when I launch Thunderbird, it's going to show everything in a 10-point Arial font. So Mozilla Thunderbird, and let's see what happens. Yep, it worked. So now it is all looking like it's supposed to. The next thing we'll do is that there is no reading pane in Thunderbird, in Gmail by default, and we can get rid of this easily just by hitting F8. Gone. Or I believe it's under View. Is it under View Layout? Oh, there it is. View Layout Message Pane. So you can get to it that way too. View Layout Message Pane. Get rid of it. And that means you would double click on the email to open it, which would open it in a tab. That's the way that works. Now actually, while we're reading a message, we can change the way this stuff looks on the right side simply by right clicking in a blank area and going to Customize. And you can rearrange these buttons however you want. If I, for example, want the delete button gone, I just drag it into this window and it's gone and it moves into here. If I hit done, the delete button is no longer there. So I right click Customize. If I want it back, I just drag it out of the box over here, and that's it. The next thing on the list is we need to add in some Gmail functionality. Now this would not work obviously with this account, but here's how you would do it. We go to Tools, Add-ons, and let me just make this a little bigger, and then search for Google. And there is one for Google Calendar, Google Contact. If anything, you should put in Google Contacts so you can sync your contacts list. And what happens after that is when you install that, you just go to your address book here and you will see one for Google Contacts in here, and it will synchronize appropriately. And that's the way that it works. Other than that, you'd probably want to enable threaded view, which they call conversation view in Gmail. That's just this little guy right up here. So it changes it to threads, and you'll see that if you have any conversation threads, you'll see them. I don't, because I don't have any threads in here currently, but you can either turn it on or off. And finally, this little button way over here, where you can choose which you want to columns you want to display. You you can mix and match between this if you want. There's a whole bunch of them, obviously. Like if I want to view the size of an email, just click size and it shows me the actual size of the email. But that's not in Gmail by default, so that would go. There's also not a junk status in Gmail, not in the column anyway, so we can get rid of that. And the watched thread, which I think is, I'm sorry, the red, R-E-A-D, that is, red column, you can get rid of that one. And starred, yeah, there typically is starred. You probably want to move the attachment column. You can just click and drag that over on the right side and put it after date. Can I do that? Yeah, I can. So the attachments will be here or here. I don't remember where it is in Gmail specifically, but you can take any one of these columns and just move them just by clicking and dragging, like so. Fairly simple. This is the starred column, like that, exactly the same as it would be in Gmail. We can take this, and I believe they have, I don't know if they have that one on the left or the right, but you can drag it wherever you want. And I think, yeah, that's about it really. As long as you set up the account as an IMAP account, it will be the same in Gmail as it is in, yeah, it will be the same in Gmail as it is in Thunderbird. Oh, there is one other thing, I'm sorry. The archived part of it. Tools, account settings, and you go to copies and folders. Is it under copies and folders? Alright, sent, drafts, archive. Okay. What you would do is that you want to change the archive part to go to other, and then drop that down, go to your Gmail account and choose, like in AOL it's called saved, and in Gmail I think it's just called archived. So if you see it here, you would do it like that, and then what you can do is you can archive messages. The keystroke for that, I'm thinking it's A. Let's try it out actually. A. Yep, it is. Let me go back. I'd have to actually add that folder in, and then it will put a subfolder for the date, and then that's that. I'll drag that back over to saved. So that is how to do it. So there you go. So the keystroke A, just make sure that you go to tools and account settings, copies and folders, and the archive folder change to, like I said, on AOL Mail it's saved, but on Gmail it's called archived. Now if you want to get rid of the thing where it creates the year folder, there is actually an extension for that. I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head. Let me try this. Archive. There it is. Message archive options. Actually, I'll do this in this video right now, just to show you. Add to Thunderbird. Connecting. Install now. Whenever you install an add-on, you do have to restart the browser, so, I'm sorry, restart the mail client. So we'll do a quick restart. Okay. Let me just get rid of this folder that it made. Delete. Okay. And go back to, yeah, favorite folders view. Tools, account settings, and I believe it's under copies and folders. Yeah, there it is. You'll have a new button now called Open Message Archive Options Dialog. And what you can do is just do single folder. That's all you have to do, single folder. So then what happens is that, assuming that you have your archive folder set correctly, and we hit OK, and I am, let's just say this email was in the inbox for whatever reason. So I have something in the inbox, and I want to send this direct to saved or in Gmail archived. I just hit A. And now it's here. Just like if you were to click archived or save in AOL or archive in, I think it's called archive, in Gmail. Now we'll just dump it directly to the folder it's supposed to go to. So that's, as far as I know, that's as close to Gmail as you can get it. There's probably a few other things I could do here, but that just at least covers the basics. We've got the font thing, which I showed you with the CSS file. You can put in Google Contacts synchronization. You can set up the archiving to be the same The sidebar and everything looks the same. You can get rid of the reading pane, so you can have that on or off with an F8. So, no big deal. And I can't really think of anything else that I don't think I missed anything. Or maybe I did. If I did, feel free to post a comment if you think there's anything else I could put in here. Oh, and the conversation view, that was with the message thread thing. You can see that too. I'm racking my brain here thinking if I missed anything. I don't think... Oh, labels. That would not be tag. I should note that. Now, there is such a thing as tagging, but that's Thunderbird specific. Labels under an IMAP would actually show up as a folder. That's actually important to note. Yeah, that's actually really important to note. So if you're doing the label thing often, labels inside an IMAP connected Gmail account would actually show up as a separate folder. So you'll have to go to all folders and then just right click and set the favorite, and then you put it in your favorites list. And yeah, like I said, if there's anything I missed, feel free to post a comment or two, and I'll see if I can get an answer.